Ethan's loan isn't going to pay itself. My dad snapped after doubling my rent in a house I secretly owned. I said, then start packing. You've got 30 days to leave. I served the eviction notice in front of 40 guests at a backyard party. Get rid of your car, said Dad, not even lifting his eyes from the screen in front of him. Ryan's debt isn't going to fix itself. I paused halfway to the fridge, frozen in place with the orange juice still in my hand. What did you just say? I asked. He looked at me like I was the one being unreasonable. Your brother's trying to build something. He's under pressure right now. And I'm not? I said sharply. Mom sighed while standing over the stove. Ethan! You have a good job. Ryan just needs a little help. That word again. Asterisk, help, asterisk. Their usual way of saying I should hand over money. I closed the fridge door and leaned on the counter. You just made my rent go up by almost double, remember? Dad waved it off like I was being picky. And you still pay less than what others do. Okay, I said flatly. Let's double it again and call it charity. Mom made a noise with her tongue. Don't be rude. Ryan is your brother. Yeah, I said. He's also 32 years old, lives downstairs without paying rent, and hasn't had a steady job in 2 years. But sure, let's squeeze me instead. Then came a long, heavy pause. Dad kept going like nothing happened. You've always been good at managing money, he said. Because I actually work, I thought, but didn't say it out loud. Since I finished school, I've been working nonstop. Full-time job, side work, no debt, no trips, no extras. My car paid in full, my savings earned through effort. I gave up sleep, friends, and any kind of balance just to stay ahead. Ryan. He quit 2 schools, got tricked by some guy selling crypto dreams. Now he says he's starting a business, but all he does is play video games until 3 a.m. and post cheesy quotes online. You said I could stay here for 1 year, I reminded them, to save up, get steady. I did that. Now you raise the rent and ask me to sell my car for Tara Ryan. Hey, he's your brother, Mom said again, like it was a fact written in stone. Family helps each other. I looked at both of them, then gave a short laugh. I'll think about it, I said under my breath. Dad nodded like it was already decided. Good. I knew you'd do the right thing. I didn't say anything else. I walked back to my room, closed the door, and sat down on the bed, staring at the ground. They had no clue, no idea. I had already made up my mind. No idea what was coming. Let's just say when Ryan's big moment arrived, I had a surprise waiting. Not the kind they were expecting. But before we go there, you should know how all of this started. This wasn't just one bad talk in the kitchen. It was years of quiet pressure, me giving them always expecting until I forgot what it was like to live for myself. Ryan. His big day was just the spark. The fire had been burning long before. It started when I moved back in after finishing college. It was meant to last 1 year. Save some cash, get steady, then move forward, Dad had said. That was 3 years ago. Since then, I've paid rent, bought food, fixed broken things around the house, like when the pipes exploded, and helped Mom cover surprise credit card bills too many times to count. I never spoke up. I thought this was just what a good son is supposed to do. But what made it impossible to take any more was the unfairness. Ryan. My younger brother spent 5 years finding himself, which mostly meant spending money on useless hobbies and failed plans, ones that always needed someone else's money. Mom would always say, he just needs more time. Dad would tell me, you're the older one. Ethan, be a role model. But what does being a role model even mean anymore? I worked 60 hours a week doing tech support. Ryan slept all morning and posted fake hustle photos from the couch with hashtags like grind mode. Let me describe the situation. In 2019, Ryan had planned to launch a drop shipping business. I covered the cost of registering his company and paying for a Shopify account. In 2020, he changed his mind and moved to YouTube. I bought him a camera and a microphone just until the money from ads starts coming in. He told me by 2021, it was all about cryptocurrency. I didn't give him a cent that time. Instead, he borrowed $22,000 through a personal loan. He lost everything in less than 2 months. Now somehow I'm expected to give up my car to help pay the loan he can't handle. Here's what stings the most. I said no. And suddenly I was the bad guy. One night, I came home to find both my parents sitting at the kitchen table like they were waiting to scold me. "Ryan's not like you," Mom said. "He's more emotional," she added. "You've got work in a solid path. He's chasing something bigger." "Oh, my bad," I replied. "Does he break out in hives around employment?" "Stop being nasty," Dad snapped. "He's putting in effort, but the pressure from his debt is giving him anxiety." "Then pawn his game console," I fired back. "Maybe his stress will shrink if he actually starts planning his spending." Dad got up. "No more smart remarks and no more freeloading," I responded. "You raised my rent by nearly double while he pays zero." "He's family," Mom said. "So am I," I answered. They said nothing, just stared. After that night, things got worse. I started spotting smaller signs. Ryan. Ordering takeout on the family credit card. A package meant for me ripped open and tossed aside. It was a new work phone. His girlfriend staying over most nights. She ate our food, mocked me for budgeting, and called me stiff because I actually pay for my own stuff. Then came the breaking point. It was a Sunday. I was trying to nap before an overnight shift. Ryan had stormed into my room without knocking. "Hey," he said, "your credit's solid, right?" I sat up. "Why?" He chuckled like it was obvious. "I want to redo my loan. Can I borrow your name? I'll get a better deal." I stared in silence. He kept smiling like he'd asked for a slice of bread. "You want me to co-sign your loan?" "Just for a little while," he replied. "You've got great credit. There's no risk. It's not like you even use it. Nothing to risk, right?" I got up, walked past him. Didn't say a thing. He followed me. "Wait, you're angry now?" I didn't answer. "Wow," he muttered. "You always think you're above us just 'cause you've got cash." "You owe us," he added. That word stuck. "Oh, what exactly do I owe you for?" I asked. "For feeding me as a child? For raising me in a home where affection had strings attached and praise only came when someone else fell harder? They didn't raise a person. They raised a wallet, a quiet funding source with no rights, only duties." Something inside me shifted that night. For once, I wasn't tired. I was finished. I didn't scream, I didn't argue. I just began making plans slowly and quietly because working in tech taught me one thing. The best way to break a system is from within. And my family, that was the system. My error was thinking I was part of it. I wasn't. I was just the battery keeping it alive, and I was done charging it. Ryan had a big event coming. He thought it would be full of excitement. I had something else lined up. 30 days, 1 envelope, no heads up. But I'm getting ahead. You'll understand. Ryan. His big day was supposed to be a huge moment, a party to reveal his new brand. He made shirts with a slogan that didn't make sense. He threw together a promo kit using Canva. He invited everyone to the backyard like he was ringing the stock market bell. The night before, Dad asked if I could help with setting up the speakers. I said, "No, you're really not coming." Mom asked, standing in my doorway like I was grounded. "He's your brother. He's your mission." I said, "Go support him." She didn't like that, but I didn't care anymore. They had crossed every boundary. I was just drawing a new one they wouldn't be allowed to cross again. On the morning of the gathering, I printed the documents, placed them in an envelope, and reviewed every page twice. The law in our area gives 30 days notice for an official removal from a resident. I followed every rule because if I was going to burn this bridge, I wanted proof in hand. By midday, Ryan was already outside wearing shades and shouting orders like he was throwing the biggest business launch of the year. At 5 p.m., when everyone showed up, I handed him an envelope as he stood by the grill ready to flip burgers. He took it. I could see the confusion on his face. He opened it. He glanced at me like a deer in headlights. "What's this?" I said. "Just some paperwork, man." But it wasn't just paperwork. It was the end of a cycle. The moment I realized that sometimes, in life, we have to break free from the chains that bind us, even if they come in the form of family, expectations, or guilt. We get taught to sacrifice for others, to put their needs ahead of our own. But at what cost? I reached a point where I had to choose me. I had to say no. No to being someone's safety net. No to living in someone else's shadow. And yes, to my own life, my own freedom. It was painful. It hurt like hell, but I had to let go of what was toxic, even if it was wrapped in the disguise of love. So if you're out there, feeling drained, constantly giving without receiving, remember, you deserve more. You have the right to set boundaries, to put your well-being first, and to create a life where you are not defined by the expectations of others. In the end, the hardest part isn't saying no. It's realizing that the people who truly love you will understand, and those who don't may never. But that's okay. Because choosing yourself is never selfish. It's self-preservation.